What's going on, everybody? King of Dragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the AEW Unmatched collection, Wardlow. And so here we have Mr. Mayhem Wardlow posing out of the packaging. Before we go on the figure, let's actually look at his accessories. Wardlow does come with two different head sculpts. We do get the stern neutral expression, and we do get the yelling expression. He of course does come with two pairs of hands. We get a pair of fists, as well as a pair of grip hands. Other than that, Wardlow doesn't come with any other accessories, so let's actually take a look at his details. And so here we have a closer look at Wardlow, and I think Jazzware has done a really good job with this figure. This is actually one of the AEW figures that I've been looking forward to the most, and you know what? I'm not disappointed by what we have here. Now, I do have some issues with it, but that's to be expected with every figure. There's no such thing as a perfect figure. But having a look at Wardlow here, he is done very nicely. This is the type of thing that Jazzware and Mattel needs to aim for in terms of quality wrestling figures. So, like I said, Wardlow does come with two head sculpts. I don't know which one I like more. They both look really nice, although I might have him display with a yelling head, just depending on how I have him posed. But overall, yeah, I really do like the head sculpt. It does look a lot like Wardlow. I do like the paint work in his hair. The fade looks really good. His beard is sculpted perfectly. It looks really good, and it looks like Wardlow, so that's the number one thing I do like. Another thing I do like is the way they styled his hair. He does have the faux hawk that he is sporting, but he also has it in a little bun right here, which is accurate to how Wardlow has his hair. So yeah, they did a really good job with the head sculpt on Wardlow. Moving on to the rest of his body, I really do like the body, although I kind of feel like something that they should have done is given Wardlow soft goods singlet, just because he does take it off. Well, not take it off, but he does lower the straps in the match whenever he does the F10. But yeah, it's still a really good look, and you can see on the back it does say Wardlow. Really simplistic singlet, but it does work for the character. And then we do have the lions right here with the crown on them. Mr. Mayhem is looking really nice in figure form. I think one problem I have with it are his arms. Now from the side, his arms look just about right. They're the right size in proportion to his body. But looking at it from this angle, his arms do feel a little bit thin. If they were just a little bit chunkier, I think I would like it a little bit better. But one thing I do have issues with are his hands. Just look at how tiny his grip or his fists are. If they were a little bit bigger, I'd be okay with it. My main display is probably going to be the grip hands, because look how much bigger his grip hands are than his fists. So yeah, they gave him regular sized fists when they should have given him monster fists. But that's okay, at least he has display options. Then going on to his knee pads, you can see that they did give him the rubber knee pads, which I am happy that they are small, so they don't really hinder articulation all too much, but they will hinder some, so just keep that in mind, guys. Then we have a look at his boots, and they did a really good job detailing his boots. I do like how much effort they put into it. You can see the straps, the folds, the flaps, they look really nice. It's a very well detailed boot, and you can see the laces right here. Very good figure. And of course, Wardlow doesn't have any coloration in his boots. They're just those standard black wrestling boots, which do look really good on the figure. This is a very nice and impressive looking figure by Jazzwares, guys, and I think one issue I do have is that they didn't paint the underside of his upper torso, which it is quite noticeable going all the way, at least the upper half. The front half is missing some paint, but it's not a big deal. I'm not going to say it's a terrible figure because of one little paint error like that. It's still a very solid release. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually get Wardlow compared to other figures you may have in your collection. Here we have Wardlow posed next to an Ultimate Edition Brock Lesnar and a basic Jeff Hardy. And finally, here we do have Wardlow posed next to an unrivaled Kenny Omega and MJF. So with the comparisons out of the way, let's actually move on to Wardlow's articulation. Now he does have some hindrance in his articulation, which we'll go over that right now. He does have a ball joint in the head, so you can see he can look up and down really nicely. Very little, actually no head tilt on this head. Let's see if we pop this head off and throw on his roaring head. He gets very little head tilts, but we do get left and right rotation. He has a hinge in the neck. I don't know, it really is dependent on on which head you have, because this head does get some pretty good up and down movement just because of the way this one's sculpted. His mouth is bigger, so you don't get as much downward movement, so do keep that in mind. Both heads do turn left and right, no problem. Arms do go all the way around, no problem, as well as hinge out to the side, better than horizontal. We do have a bicep swivel, which works perfectly fine. We have double bend at the elbow, giving us really good range there, as well as a swivel and hinge at the wrist. We do have a ball joint in the torso, which does lean back to about right there. Only leans forward to about right there, and yeah, if you try forcing it, it pops the body off, so they really didn't articulate his torso all that well. Does lean side to side as well as some rotation. Then we do have another ball joint here at the lower torso, which does move forward and back, side to side a little bit, as well as some rotation. So we get some pretty decent articulation there. Not the best, but it is something. Legs do kick forward only to about right there, which is a little bit disappointing. Going out to the side, that's pretty acceptable. Going back, not a thing that happens with Wardlow. His legs don't scoot back. We do have thigh swivel, which works really good. Double bend here at the knee. You do have to adjust his knee pad a little bit if you want to get both joints to work, but they do move around. We do have a swivel here in the foot. A hinge in the ankle that goes forward and back really nicely. And then of course we do have forward facing pin for rocker ankle, although Wardlow seemed to be at an angle where it's more of a swivel than a pivot, so yeah, do keep that in mind when displaying your Wardlow. So anyway, that's Wardlow's articulation for you guys. What we're going to do now is get him posed for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. And so here we have Mr. Mayhem Wardlow posed for my final thoughts, and overall I think Jazzware has done a really great job with Wardlow. Now, in terms of articulation, yeah, he does suffer a bit, but Wardlow really doesn't do too many crazy things, so I guess that is a good thing. But at the same time, you would expect him to have a little more articulation, especially in the abdomen, especially if you want him doing Powerbomb Symphony. You're going to want to have that joint in his abs just so it does simulate an up and down movement. Overall, Wardlow here is still an impressive figure, and I am really glad I do have him in my collection. I feel like Jazzwares gave Wardlow just the right amount of accessories. He has a pair of grip hands, he has fists, he has two different head sculpts which are completely different, which I really do like. Which one I'll have him display with, I don't know. They're both really good head sculpts, and it's really hard for me to say which one I like better, but I'm probably leaning toward the expressive head. Even though I'm not a fan of the expressive heads most of the time, this is one time I'm perfectly okay with it. Now, if you are looking for the unrivaled and unmatched collections, they are starting to hit Target and Walmart at the same time, so I do like that. The Unmatched collection is starting to see release in both of them, and Series 2 just came out in most places, so if you are looking for Wardlow, he should be quite easy to find. I was lucky enough to find him on my pegs at my local Walmart, so thankfully he was quite easy to track down. I still think that Tay Conti and Sting are going to be the hardest ones to find, but don't pass on Wardlow. He is an impressive figure, and you're going to want to have him in your collection if you're a fan of AEW. With that being said, guys, I'm KingofDragons 5000. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and check out all my other action figure reviews as well as all my other AEW videos. Hopefully you find them informative. As always, if there's a figure you would like to see me review, let me know down in the comments, and if it's in my collection, I'll gladly have a look at it. While you're at it, check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos, and as always, ring that bell to be notified every time I upload a video. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take care, everyone.